May profits be upon you. Welcome to another weekly Forex forecast. We're looking at the US dollar index. We're looking at the Euro USD, the Pound USD, the Aussie dollar USD, the New Zealand dollar USD. And we'll take a quick glance at the USD CAD, the USD Swiss, and the USD JPY. All right, we're looking at the Forex pairs, the major pairs. And I'm hoping that you enjoy this format. Let me know in the comments section if you'd rather have individualized analysis, with individual markets, or you like this format. All right, now, if we look at the calendar coming up for next week, where there is uh, nothing happening on Sunday and Monday. All right, if there's no news drivers on those days, particularly Monday, depending on what part of the world you live in, Sunday is relevant to you. But for people living in the United States, uh, Monday is a starts the week. Friday ends the week. There's nothing happening Monday and Friday, and there are bank holidays on Thursday for Euro banks, European banks. So with when you have a shortened week of trading, there's usually some consolidation in the markets, and they're a little more funkier to trade. All right. Especially if there's no news drivers on those days. Those days, you're going to see a narrow range, uh, more than likely. Sometimes you see a regular range, but you don't see a lot of your normal setups. You won't see some normal setups move in the way that you would expect them to sometimes because there's no news drivers. There's a lot of big, like smart money institutional traders don't trade on these days, so you don't have the volume, right? Now, Tuesday, you got CPI. That's a big one. CPI, all right? That's Consumer Price Index, one of the leading indicators of inflation. Along with the next day you have PPI, the Producers Price Index. All right, both of these will inform the Fed in the U.S. as to how to plan out interest rate hikes or cuts. You understand? All right, those are big day. Those are big days, and they could. Those are one of the like the CPI is one of the big ones. The high impact um, news items that could have the potential to reverse a market. So you want to be careful trading on those days. I usually like to trade after the news. I could fade the move, or uh, it's or I'll wait till the dust settles, or I won't trade at all. It depends. It depends. But I'll have eyes on. Anyway, that's what we're looking at this week. So you want to be careful this week, right? Now, hold on. I done messed up over there. Okay, I'm on another screen. I'm sorry. So we're looking at the U.S. dollar index. I'm looking at the monthly. What I want you to see is, yeah, we're still in an ascending triangle, an ascending channel. All right, we're making higher highs and higher lows, and I've been showing you that for the longest. This is the potential higher low for the next higher high. All right, but we've been down here for like about a year now. All right, just consolidating and you know chopping up. All right. It's hard to trade in this environment here, right? Month to month. But what I want you to see is we did take the high of this consolidation 2 months ago, right? Last month, in for April, we had a bearish month, but it was down to sweep the low of the previous month, right? But we traded back up, projected back up into the range of the previous month, right? Which indicates we'll probably see more um, consolidation. Then this month we open up, we pushed up into the previous month, and then we turned bearish, pushed down, and then back up. Why are we bouncing over here? Because it seems to be struggling to go lower, because I think this is where we start to change over. we start to go from a bearish to a bullish market. We are at the support line of the ascending channel. So I'm looking at the market as the low was made, a new high was made, and then we have this pullback. All right. We are at optimum trade levels over here, below the 50% of this range. All right. Below the 50% is where you want to take longs from. All right. Above 50%, you want to take shorts from. These are premium prices up here. This is discount. All right. You want to take your longs from discount. All right. And we are in discount, and you see it's still kind of indecisive over here. All right. But what I'm noting is that we are not going lower. And we want to see if this low remains protected. If we go to the weekly, oh, come on, come on. Let's go. Anytime. Thank you. What I want you to see and make a note of is on a weekly basis, we closed above the high of the consolidation. That's the last break of market structure that we've had. That means we should be bullish, all right? Until this low is taken out, where we trade and close below that low, we should be looking for bullish setups. All right, we have an expectation of more bullishness in the market. That the order flow will be bullish. Yes, we'll move up, and then we'll have a pullback, and then we look for that break of market structure. We look for the breakout of this consolidation. Yes, all right, we are pulling back right now. This could be the last pullback before the move up higher. Look where we are. This is the baseline, the not the baseline, the support line of the ascending channel. So I am looking for this market to find its footing right here, where we have this order block. You see the bearish push before the stronger bullish push, all right, creating this order block, and that's where price is hitting and finding support. Will it bounce from here? We'll find out in the days ahead, days and weeks ahead, right? But last week you can see that we closed bearish. However, indecisively bearish. Yes, we took out the low of the previous week before, but we traded right back up into the range, which indicates more consolidation. All right, so we're not going to see a big swing. We're not going to see a breakout swing. I don't think that's going to happen this week, but I do expect weakness to show in the US dollar market. All right, because you can see it's been bearish closes for the most part, other than the indecision and the fact that we are in a consolidation. If we go down to the daily, what do we see? This was the choppiness of Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, Friday we closed bearish, right? And you can see that it was a very decisive close, but it did not take the low of Thursday, and we didn't take the high of Thursday. All right, what does that mean? And it indicates consolidation. It indicates that the market is struggling to break out. All right, we're pointed here. This was such a bearish close, a lot of momentum going to the downside. Of course, I'm going to be thinking that the market is still bearish and that we should still see more bearish movement than bullish movement for the week ahead. So I am actually looking at a small pullback here to this close. This is uh, an order block, right? This is an order block uh, after this open here and this close. There was a bullish push up, but a stronger push back down the other way. We did not close below that low, but it looks imminent that we will take that low and trade towards that low once the market opens up for this week. So I am looking to see if we go down to, if I can blow this up just a little bit, uh, this wick. All right. Look at this wick as a weekly wick. Look at this order block that I pointed out on the weekly time frame as a higher time frame order block. And I don't think we go past these lows for this week. I think we're going to trade towards, and I think we're going to have a narrow range, but we may pull back. We may pull back before we come down to these lows. But I am definitely more bearish than bullish for the week ahead. If we just take a peek at the 4 hour, what you can see is, if I can get rid of this throwing you off, all right, you can see that there was a fair value gap on the 4 hour, a fair value gap on the right below that. So I kind of combined them, all right, as an area of fair value that the market could come up to. Let me get over here. I already have it. All right, that the market could pull back to, find resistance, and then continue down lower to sweep these relative equal lows and hit their the wick, the 50% of this wick, to see if it will be respected, to see if this low will be respected. I'm looking for that to happen after when the market opens up. Now the market could open bearish and take these first, right? But I believe we'll probably see some kind of bounce here, all right, for the market to pull back and then back down. I think we're going to consolidate. We're going to see some more consolidation, but I do not think the low of this consolidation is will be taken. If the market closes below that low, well, you know, it that would be coming right into the higher time frame order block down here, and I think we're going to find our footing here. It'll still be bearish, still the bias is bearish for this market, but I'm looking for the pullback before I take a short on the US markets below that. You understand? I don't want to take my short down here. I want to take my short from up here. What did I just finish telling you about ranges? Two divided in half, the upper half, uh, premium prices, the lower half is discount. I want to take my shorts from premium prices. And from these fair value gaps, that's where I would want to take uh, shorts. And that's what I'll be looking at in the Euro USD, the Pound USD, and the rest of them. You understand? All right, stayed way too long in that section. Now, let's go to the Euro USD. All right, if we go down to the daily, what am I looking at? All right, this is the opposite of the U.S. dollar index that I just came from. This is the inversion. This is and just essentially it's the inverted version, the inverted version of the mirror version of the U.S. dollar index, right? So if I'm bearish in the U.S. dollar, in the US dollar index, I got to be bullish here, right? Where am I looking for? I'm looking for this bullish fair value gap here. I'm looking for the market to bring itself down here, find its footing, and continue higher to these highs. All right. There is a wick here that you'll see on the weekly. Come on, man. I ain't got a whole lot of time. All right. You see on the weekly here. Wow, this takes a long time. What is that about? All right. Get rid of that. All right. If we go here, you can see that there's this wick here, right? And I was looking for that wick to hold price and turn it over. If it does, because the market is not reacting in that way, you can see, look, there was a bearish fair value gap here. The market just rammed right through that. All right. And here we are consolidating after a bearish break of market structure. This, it for me, is a pullback. I'm looking for the market to turn over and continue down, as this was the signal to me, being that the market was at the high of this bearish, this descending channel here. We're at the top here. I was looking for the market to turn over, but because the market is the U.S. dollar is weakening, is weakened last week, and that would the opposite would hold true for the euro. Now you can see if I use my Fibonacci retracement tool from the high, wow, from the high here to the low here, right? This pullback is right at optimal trade entry levels. I'm looking for the market to take out this high, because I think there's going to be some short-term bullishness here. Looking for that high to get taken, and maybe this high. All right, but for this one, I think this is the most likely target. All right, and this is at the support. I mean the resistant line of the descending channel. So if it came up this high, if it came up this high to these highs and swept that, we would still be respecting the the swing high here, and I'd be looking for the market to turn down. So I'm looking for short-term bullishness in this market. Okay, and if we go down to the 4 hour, you can see where I'm thinking. Come on, man! If I can get this out of here, that'd be great. I'm getting rid of the fibs. All right, you can see I'm looking for the market to pull back. Oh, the market has already opened, and it opened at the optimal trade entry areas. All right, here we are. This is the Sunday candle right now. All right, and there's no wick here, no wick so far, and it's going up to close this volume imbalance. This is a gap, a price gap, and we open down here. I was thinking the market would open down here and we can go on up. So you see this playing out. Let's see if it, I might have missed my opportunity. I'm not going to enter on a Sunday, that's for sure. So we'll see what happens on Monday. If the market heads up towards that, plays down here a little bit, and then finds its support. If it revisits, I would love to participate in this market to go higher. Does that make sense? All right. If we go to the pound, very similar situation. All right. This is the pound on the 4 hour. You can see it opened up even lower. All right. And this is a very large volume imbalance. I was looking for the market to do the same thing and find its footing down here. All right. Does that mean, uh, you know, that it won't make it up to this high? Does it mean that? No, it doesn't mean that. This is a this is this high never made it to the what do you call it? What do you, it's like I think before the market, because the pound seems to be a little weaker than the euro. If I'm remembering that correctly, no, the pound is stronger. Sorry, the pound is stronger than the euro, and I think there's still going to present itself an opportunity to take it long here. You understand? All right. So what? Let's just move that. All right. We are in an area where the market could continue up higher. Let's see if we see some consolidation here without taking out this low or protecting this low. This is where the order block is on the higher time frames. So I'm not looking for it to come down here and then go up. This is a consolidation here, so I'm going to be very careful with how I trade this area. All right. And I like this to head up and break out to the upside. Just, just that it opened up so low. Wow. So we may have a situation, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait and see how this plays out. That's what I'm going to do. All right. Now, I'm going to go to another video. I'm going to put out another video where I look at the other ones that I mentioned earlier: Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar, USD CAD, and USD Swiss, and USD JPY. I'm just going to look at them, all right, and compare them to the US dollar index. That'll be the next video I put out. I hope you enjoyed this one. Let me know what your thoughts are for the week ahead in the comments section if you have any or different view of things. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. May profits be upon you.